today's video, we are specifically going to talk about the anime in which the main character, or characters, are swordsmen. Well then, shall we begin? The first anime on our list is Bakumatsu. The name of this anime, Bakumatsu, refers to the final years of the Edo period. It was almost 2 centuries ago, and for Japan, this was a period of quite a lot of anxiety, and they didn't even have social media to escape from all that anxiety. Anyway, this anime's theme is that period, and the plot goes like this. A soldier named Takasugi sneaks aboard a government ship together with his comrade Katsura, or should I say Zura. Their goal is to find a timepiece, which has the ability to temper with time, and Takasugi plans on destroying that piece so that no one uses its power for their own selfish reasons. Then, a few things happen, and before they know it, they aren't even in the same era anymore. Gangsta. As the name suggests, this anime is about gangsters. 2 men named Nicholas and Warwick, quite well known in the city of Ergastalum. They're called handymen, and what they do is that they take on jobs that normal people just can't handle. They're mercenaries for hire, and they can do just about anything their client hires them for. That's why even powerful mob syndicates and the police are willing to hire them. And their first major job in this anime is to kill a local brothel keeper, which they do, and then they even save one of the girls from that brothel in their group, and she is Alex Benedetto. For some reason, there are a lot of people after her life, so these two decide to protect her for the time being. Now guys, this is a great anime. If the premise catches your eye, you should definitely give this one a shot. The characters are also well established, and they do use swords. Sword Art Online, the third most popular anime on my anime list. Now, regardless of what some people say about this anime, and I'd be the first to admit that it is overrated, but you still can't ignore just how popular Sword Art Online is. And for those who are still watching it, this anime only continues to get better and better. The story takes place in the year 2022. Virtual reality is quite advanced, and there's a new game called Sword Art Online that's about to launch. It's a game in which the players can control their avatars with nothing but their own thoughts. The game launches, and our main character, Kirito, is among the first few people who get their hands on this game during the first shipment. He logs in and finds himself in this new world together with around 10,000 other players. There are weapons, monsters, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff that you may find in these types of games. However, the players soon realize that they're trapped in the game, unable to log out, and they'll never get out of this game unless or until they complete all 100 levels of the game. And that is basically what this anime is about. Though not everyone may like it, it's still quite enjoyable. Samurai X Rurouni Kenshin. This is a 4-episode-long OVA of the popular 90s classic called Rurouni Kenshin. But you can start with this OVA, and if you like it, just move on to the actual anime. Now, even as a standalone, this 4-episode-long OVA is a masterpiece. It is a 90s classic, and as long as you love action, this anime is your cup of tea. The story goes like this. A young slave sees his owners getting brutally murdered right in front of him, and then he's taken in by the man who killed his owners. He even gave him a name. Now, that boy is Homura Kenshin, an aspiring swordsman. He's still young and innocent, but soon enough, his heart is going to get divided between justice and corruption. If you've already watched the actual Rurouni Kenshin anime, then you must have also watched this OVA. However, if you're new to this anime, then you should go with the OVA and then move on to the actual anime. It is a prequel to the anime after all. Katsugeki Tuken Ranbu. 2 warriors named Kanesada and Kunihiro come to the Edo era from the future to investigate their master's reports of an upcoming invasion. They can't give away any information about the future to the army or any random stranger, and they're aware that they would have to fight the army at some point. So, with the help of some other swordsmen, they continue to fight the army all throughout the late Edo period. Now, this anime is an adaptation of a game produced by the studio Ufotable, so you need not worry about the art quality or the animation. Though, if you don't like the plot, you might not like the anime either. Samurai Champloo. Now this anime is about the characters. If you like the characters, you like this anime. Still though, characters are very likable. Our 2 main characters are Mugen and Jin. They come across each other one random day. It was in a small tea house. A young girl named Fu Kasumi, who was a waitress at this tea house, accidentally spills tea on one of the customers. Now a lot of people suddenly start harassing this young girl. But then, in almost an instant, a samurai named Mugen quickly renders all of them useless and then points his sword in front of another customer, who also happens to be a samurai. His name is Jin. Now in the middle of it all, the tea house is destroyed, and they somehow also kill the son of a local magistrate, which is kind of a big deal. Both of them are sentenced to death, but before their execution, Fu somehow saves them and then also hires them as her bodyguards. And that's how the 2 of them, together with Fu Kasumi, come together. The anime is only 26 episodes long, but the narrative is strong, and you really just get attached to the characters. Rakudai Kishi no Cavalry. In the world of this anime, there are some humans who can manipulate their very own souls into actual weapons. They're called Blazers, and they study at the Hagun Academy to become respectable mage knights. The main character, named Iki Kurogane, is the worst student in this academy, but his life changes when he sees an A-ranked Blazer, who also happens to be a princess, without any clothes. So she challenges him to a duel where the loser has to become the winner's slave. It's the worst student in the entire academy versus an A-ranked honor student. Who do you think will win? And is the main character Iki Kurogane really as weak as the people think he is? Now this anime might be ecchi, but it is not actually a harem anime, and the story may seem a bit cliched, but it is kind of different. Noragami. There's rarely an anime fan who hasn't watched this piece of art. The story follows the main character Yato. He is a god that can do your errands for a measly 5 yen, and that's not an understatement. But because he only does odd jobs for some pocket change, one day his weapon partner gets fed up with him and she resigns. However, this all changes when a normal high school girl saves Yato from a car, but because of that, her soul somehow gets separated from her body. She's still alive, but her soul has become very flexible. It can leave her body whenever. The anime makes subtle transitions from light, wholesome moments to sad yet sometimes thrilling moments. And that's why, even though it's only 25 episodes long, it still manages to keep you engaged for the entire 25 episodes. Plunderer. The main character is a swordsman who's been around for a while, and the story takes place in a world that is governed by numbers. Your standing in the society is decided by your number count. If your count is higher than others, then you have a higher social standing. But if your count is lower than others, then you are below them. However, if by some reason your count reaches 0, you end up getting sent to the abyss, and nobody knows the world of the abyss. Now the plot is quite great, but this adaptation wasn't done very well though. If you dropped the anime because of cringe or some other issue, and you like the plot, you should definitely try the manga. Grand Crest Senki. War breaks out once again in the continent of Atlantin because of the Great Hall tragedy. What happens is that a marriage was about to take place. There was a lot riding on this marriage because it would have established peace in both nations. However, it turns into a tragedy. The marriage is interrupted by a sudden appearance of dark energy from another dimension, which becomes the entrance of monsters and demons from another world. And then comes out the demon Lord Diabolos. He murders quite a lot of dukes of both factions, and just like that, any hopes of peace are shattered. As for the two main characters, one is a mage named Melete Siluka, on her way to a master magician. She's confronted by a few soldiers, but then Cornaro Theo helps her in that situation. After that, a few things happen, and then both of them decide to join hands in an attempt to restore balance to their land, which has suffered substantial consequences because of the war. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and leave a comment. And if you're new to the channel, you should consider turning that red subscribe button gray. I post regular content, like every 2 days or so. I know that I didn't cover all the anime in this video, so if you have something to recommend, you can let us know in the comments below. Well then, see you guys in my next video. Until then, stay safe and watch anime.